Welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. At present, we are looking at an article entitled Learning to Pray, written by a prominent Teresian scholar, Thomas Alvarez, now deceased. And he's talking about Teresa, her method of prayer, and how she communicated her method of prayer to her nuns. So, what he tells us is that in The Way of Perfection, a book in which Teresa set out to teach her own nuns how to pray, there are many examples of Teresa's teaching style. In the very first chapter, there's a model of her technique of alternating dialogue. What that means is she's writing for her nuns, but at the same time that she's talking to them, she's talking to God. She alternates between God and her nuns. Her aim was to tell them the reason for the life that they were leading. In another chapter in The Way of Perfection, the reader can see that the author becomes very moved when talking to God. So the reader can get very caught up in that conversation, and from the very beginning of the book, God is present as one of the group. Nothing is discussed without him. And if you try to ignore God's presence, you just cannot understand the book. In the rest of The Way of Perfection, the procedure is the same, especially concerning the central lesson of The Way of Perfection, which is what is prayer, how to pray, how to grow in prayer. Teresa simply brings in the third party by introducing her word and declaring him the master. This way of combining communication of ideas with practice simplifies the learning process. The reader doesn't have to know the various degrees of prayer or wait to understand their mechanics before making direct contact with them and using them. Saying prayers and thinking and loving, meditating and contemplating, recollecting oneself and listening, these are things which the book simply does as it goes on, and whoever reads it does them with it. The way these succeed one another and combine in various ways is a practical demonstration that nothing is impossible or automatically out of anyone's reach. That if some things are not within one's grasp now, it's only because they have not yet become a part of one's life. Because one's life determines these things, it is by relating to God that one has the capacity, one's capacity for relationship grows. The Lord invites everybody. He offers living water to everyone. He excludes no one from the way. Teresa knows from experience that this way is difficult, and really it's almost impossible without solid support, practical guidance, and exposure to someone with experience such as herself. Amen. So we're moving our way through this article. It's quite a lengthy article talking to us about learning to pray with Teresa of Avila. So I hope you're enjoying it, and thank you very much for following along. God bless you and yours. Amen.